Yeah, I think Free Willy was his Fantastic Red Boy.
Oh, yeah, he
Oh,
wrote a
good
song
movie.
about freeing a whale. Oh man, that's
Yeah.
cool.
The
It's
craziest
a
part
good one.
about
I
that
heard it
movie
recently. It's a good one.
is I think the whale star must have gone right back into captivity.
They're like, there's no way we're letting this fish go. We got Free Willy 2, we got Free Willy 3, we got Free Willy 4 in space. We got to keep this thing penned up. Can we find a smaller space for it? We need to make sure nothing touches it. We cannot. This is an asset. It's a specific. Because here's the thing that you guys got to remember: that orca had a very specific bent dorsal fin. You guys remember?
Yeah, there's no way his herd is going to accept him back into the group.
But like, also, that's a specific orca. They needed to protect it. They need to make sure nothing bad happened to it because it's the only orca that has that bent dorsal fin, I think.
Yeah, we get
It
furious
made finding
when we
stunt
see
doubles very difficult.
Yeah,
right when there's different animal stars in sequels and things. You know, when we were up to Benji 5 or Lassie 3 or most valuable primate, most vertical primate, and we thought maybe this isn't the same chimpanzee, you know?
Yeah.
That was very
It was
upset.
weird. It was weird for that one that was most velociraptor primate.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That guy was missing an eye. That one.
Yeah, that was
you
a
could
weird
tell
one.
it was a different one. Yeah.
So, you all have heard of most valuable primate. You live far enough north. I had
100%.
never heard of that before I met Canadians. And I love Canadians mostly for the fact that they have introduced me to this movie.
That's
how many animals acting as human movies in just sports settings do we have out there? We got MVP. We got there's
you got Air Bud.
There's Air Bud, of course. There's one with Matt LeBlanc.
Ooh, Dunstan checks
Ed,
in? No.
I believe.
Oh.
Dunstan checks. Well, that's not sports though. No sports.
Oh, no sports involved.
You know, unless being a bellboy is a sport up in Canada.
It could
and
be.
it is.
Yeah. Man, one of the few Jason Alexander movies out there. That was an interesting one. I think he was the villain in that movie, right?
I think he was like the kid's dad, but I think he ran the hotel and he wasn't too enamored with the thought of a wild orangutan running around causing mischief.
Yeah, usually the villains in these movies are like the only rational thinkers.
Yeah, that's such a good point. He's like, we gotta find this dog. It could hurt somebody. And like, and people are like, no, you gotta let the dog do its thing. He's like, what? This is a sport for human boys. He's like, no, let the dog play. And then at the end,
say make the chip the bellboy. Who said make the chip the bellboy? I didn't say make the chip the bellboy.
There's always a moment when at the end of these movies, because they're not like hard villains, like none of these people like die or go to jail. Like,
what about the one in Beethoven wants to shoot Beethoven for some reason? He frames Beethoven for being like rabid, so he can shoot him.
Oh man,
I forgot about that doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
right.
man.
Yeah, the 12th Doctor Who.
No, the doctor was like a veterinarian who was like trying to kill all the dogs, which seems against his Hippocratic oath.
Yeah. But what I was trying to say is that there's always a moment where like the bad guys, the ones that aren't like psychopaths, they're always just like them shaking their head like, I was wrong to doubt that dog or something like that. There's always like some moment where like,
Everyone
like
else
there's
is
like
standing and clapping around them, and they look to the right, and then they look to the left. Like,
wait, I'm the bad guy?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to uphold the rule book.
Listen, man, I got a kid in this t-ball league, and I don't want him to get mauled by a raccoon. It's completely...
Why does this keep happening?
I know they have opposable thumbs. I understand. It doesn't mean they can play t-ball with toddlers.
Yeah. Well, if this is your first episode, this is the kind of discussion you're going to get. where Pat and I inspire, Nate creates. Isn't that right, Nate? This is the kind of stuff that you want, right?
This is what we need to create the kind of hot hits that the world is looking for. If Michael Jackson hadn't already made it, we would have made a song called Man in the Mirror, and it would be much less positive.